So the dollar's one of the greatest things that's ever happened in the history of man. It's backed by blood. It's backed by blood for oil. It's got all kinds of symbolic, what people refer to as Illuminati type graphics or images on there. So to let you know who's running the show. But so I mean, you should be afraid. You should be very, very afraid that this thing is going to go away. Um, so I mean, I don't really understand why people who know about the power elite think that somehow this is going to be an immensely bad thing. Will it impact us? Like, hell yeah, it will. But like I mentioned before, things need to crumble away before it can be rebuilt by actual people, like a grassroots style. It just seems like there's a lot of fear in this whole thing. It's like giving life support to a dead body. It's like, also you hear it's gonna no longer be the world reserve currency. Well, anyways, it will implode. We will see the demise of the dollar. So buy your gold, buy your silver, buy the Ultimate Survival DVD. So this is what the economic analysis is showing. The next crisis is imminent. They say the complex of potential future problems will be based on the same problems that caused the 2008 downturn. Too much government debt, too much private debt, and a collapse of that debt when it can't be paid, creating a new economic crisis. It will implode and issue a new currency to replace the dollar. That will destroy an awful lot of debts. They go in there and talk about, it'd be one thing, or it'd be nice if they base it on something like gold, right? Backed by gold. It's you can print money out of thin air. It's like I was mentioning, it's not really just printing out of thin air. It's usually backed by something. Right now, our currency is backed by oil and people's ability to work off debt. That's basically it. So they can issue more debt, which makes you wonder about this whole Iran deal. Like I mentioned, I think it's about financial. It's for financial reasons, part of it. People disagree with me, but it's okay. We'll agree to disagree here on that. But Saudi Arabia, we know that there's been some kind of distancing between the West and them. We know that Saudi Arabia is one of the key people, along with Egypt and that, during the whole 1970s oil crisis and deals that were made where money would be traded in U.S. dollars. So is Iran now all of a sudden going to help keep that going? Because we see Egypt in crisis. We see Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is now, well, we know that they don't have as much oil as they used to. So there's different options. They'll either find just a new source to trade oil in dollars, like Iran or whatever. They could find something else to back the U.S. dollar, or like the third option, the yuan becomes the new reserve world currency, or basically both of them are. So it will implode. We will see the demise of the dollar. 15 signs that we are on the near the peak of an absolute massive stock market bubble. And I really hardly ever put dates on stuff because it's just, I think once or twice I have. And I think one of them was around the government shutdown, but I never put a date on it. Someone accused me of that in the comments yesterday. I was merely pointing out that I was actually kind of surprised that they carried this charade on for so long about the whole government shutdown, that there may actually be some truth to their desperation, which is what I felt led to the Iran deal. But there's always this imminent collapse on the horizon in some circles, and like I said, the point is to keep it going, to transition without any kind of collapse. There's too much invested in this for it to collapse. Bitcoin's largest exchange wants recognition for virtual currency, so a nice grassroots currency, totally anonymous, totally free from any privacy invasion. It's the work of the people here. Bitcoin's biggest exchange in China, BTC China, has begun discussions with the authorities over regulation of the cryptocurrency. It hopes more recognition will allow Bitcoins to be used to buy goods and services in the country. Everyone hates the dollar and the euro, and with good reason. So Bitcoin saying get out while the getting's good. Some selling points, they say it's a virtual currency stored in digital wallets rather than an actual physical paper, which makes it very cool. And it says, second, Bitcoin's existence is decentralized, eschewing a central bank to issue and police it, or a government to control it, also very cool. Quasi-anarchy or anarchic decentralization is a utopian dreamland of tech guys everywhere. So it says here, third, Bitcoin's rise in price has rewarded so far the early adopters, also very cool. But my quick point about these guys is I think that the algorithms are already up and running, the AI, so it's only going to become more intelligent, and more aware of itself. These are the same people I think that also are into transhumanism. So, as far as decentralization, it just doesn't. It seems like a bunch of crap to me. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of contrary to their logic, which is that's what it's going to lead to. As singularity happens, transhumanism, it's going to lead to more centralization of everything, of information, of people's lives, of their energy. That's why I don't trust any of this stuff. But it's just to go with the flow, right? UK Royal Mint working on plans to issue gold-backed physical bitcoins. This is probably the most interesting part of all, though, as far as this goes. They said that Bitcoins issued by the Royal Mint would have a gold content at figured of 500 pounds worth, has been proposed, so that holders could conceivably melt and sell the metal if the exchange value of the currency were to collapse. Again, as far as like saving precious metals or gold and stuff like that in a survival situation, because I've done it. I've actually had silver. I don't know anymore. The silver, it would be nice for conducting some kind of trade or something like that. But I think at that particular point I would just be bartering things, objects, services, whatever. But I would be handing someone a piece of metal. A piece of metal isn't going to really do much for me as far as food or water or something. Someone might say, yeah, but you can trade it for bottled water or for canned food. And those are all perishable items. Those are things that once the system goes down, once the manufacturing and industry and all that, basically the grid goes down, all those things are going to be, it's not going to matter. So I don't think there'd be much worse than the metals either. This sounds kind of like heresy, and I'm not trying to like mislead you guys. It's just that since I've been doing this in 2009, part of the thing that woke me up was Alex Jones and David Icke, and I started to become active in the whole Ron Paul campaign in 2008, and then I did some flyer campaigns for the H1N1 vaccine thing, and I don't know. So I just think the whole thing was fear-based, and it's not really meant to really go anywhere as far as really informing people, because it's so outlandish that when people start talking about stuff like that, people just tune out and they don't want to hear it. Which is to say, anyone who talks about any societal issues, economic issues, once they hear you start mentioning Alex Jones or even not, they'll equate you with him, and they'll picture some guy whose eyes are about to bulge out, his face is red, and he's screaming, followed by, here I got my gold guy on, or here I got my guy to sell you some food, some survival food. I guess I'm just sick of it. I just got sick of it, and I tuned out after about a year and a half of listening from mid 2008 to about end of 2009. Then I kind of started my own videos here. That's where GGN came out of. And it may change again. My views may change again based off what I've experienced and how I perceive things. So I'm sorry. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, you can unsubscribe. It's just not worth it for me to say something that I don't believe anymore in order to keep subscribers. So I would hope that you just keep an open mind, because that's what I do. I just keep an open mind, and I try to realize that maybe I'm not right about this, or maybe I'm wrong about that. So I'm moving to this Black Friday thing. Says that Thanksgiving weekend shoppers topped 141 million and spent $57 billion. It stretched 5 days. That's the crazy thing now. This holiday shopping, Black Friday, is actually a 5-day period from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday today. This year, more than 141 million Americans will have spent some $57 billion in stores and online. Then I saw this article. Actually, holiday weekend shopping down 3% over the year. Black Friday a bit of a dud. So it wasn't exactly Black Friday retailers' dreams. And I'm assuming that this is just for the United States. If it is, it says roughly 141 million people participated. That's like half the entire country's population. I mean, you see these videos that come out about the Black Friday madness, you know what I mean? And it's like, imagine if 200 million Americans or 300 million Americans actually went out and all shopped at the same time. It's not even possible. But I guess that's what they want, right? That would be nice. For companies like Walmart and Best Buy. You have this video floating around, Black Friday. Walmart kicked me out for this video. And the first thing I thought was, it's good that the guy posted it, and he's got 13 million views, which is something, he's got 17 videos and he gets 13 million views. But it's nice that he reported on it, but watching the video, it seems a little, not dubious, but it's just like they showed, look at this guy. And the guy actually was going in there to help somebody, and it made it seem like he was like going there to get a second gift. So, but my point is that he said that he was kicked out for this video. My take on this is, no, you were kicked out because you weren't shopping. That's why. If you were shopping and you were punching people in the face holding presents, then you would have been there. But since you had a camera and you were capturing the madness of consumerism, that's why you were kicked out. Iceland thumbs nose at international opposition to advance 1.2 billion of debt relief plan. Their government announced that it will be writing off 24,000 euros or $32,000 of every household's mortgage, fulfilling its election promise, despite overwhelming criticism from the international financial institutions. And you know that Congress or the government itself, these politicians aren't really representing you, and that you don't really have a say when they barely are even in session. The House had 239 days off scheduled during 2013, and they have even more scheduled for next year. 2014, it shows that members will work only 113 days. And eventually, they just won't even have a Congress. It'll just be like a small board or panel of experts. Someone said that this was just a sales pitch gimmick. I think it might be. It's all over the news. Amazon. I mean, it was the day before Cyber Monday, so it's good exposure. But the thing is that they actually say that it's going to, one day, prime air vehicles will be as normal as seeing mail trucks on the road today. I don't think so. And someone on the comment board said they don't think so, that it's going to get off the ground with all the regulations with drones that have been crashing so far. And it'll be expensive as hell, I think. Domino's actually tried that, delivering pizzas by drone. U.S. Army equipping soldiers with fleet of bird-like drones. There's a request by the U.S. soldiers in combat, basically to order 3 dozen state-of-the-art micro drones that resemble birds and can be launched by hand. Then you have hive minds, how swarms of robots are learning from insects. And a dystopian future imagined within the popular Terminator franchise, robots learn to think, self-replicate, and eventually kill their human masters. And their single goal is basically to carry out these operations or orders with minimal or no input from humans. Research is based off behavior of eusocial insects, such as ants, bees, termites, who work collectively on complex tasks without central management or higher order intelligence. Drones with face detection cameras obey visual and vocal commands. Researchers revealed the ability of multiple drones to obey group commands through the use of face detection cameras and voice command recognition. New software mining science papers to make new discoveries. It reads tens of thousands of research papers, then it predicts new discoveries. They basically say that it's more efficient than a human. Coming soon, there's a night watchman with wheels. 5 feet tall, 300 pounds, looks like R2-D2 without the whimsy, and will work for $6.25 an hour. The company developed the mobile robot. It's an autonomous data machine. It's a safety and security tool for corporations as well as for schools and neighborhoods. And lastly, a study was done here where people looked at a human, a mechanical-looking robot, and a human-like robot. Alarm bells go off in the brain when there is a conflict between human-like features of the robot and its inhuman movement, basically identifying see one of us.